Hey, what up, y'all? Mr. Cruz here, the hardest worker in the room. What is up? Thank you guys so much for watching this video, checking this out for me. I wanted to start off by saying thank you so much. I had a year in review video and I wanted to put it out a lot sooner, so sorry that this is kind of coming out later into the year. But it was kind of serendipitous that I'm putting this video out just as yesterday notification that I finally hit 1K subs on YouTube. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Just the fact that there are 1,000 people out there who saw a video of mine, whether it's one or several, and then said like, yo, this person has to offer, and click that subscribe button, especially since, you know, I'm not one of those YouTubers who's like super pushy about it. So thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate it. So overall, I wanted to do a wrap up video and kind of talk about 2020 and how, for me specifically. So most of you already know that I'm a teacher full time. I teach 7th grade math. So one of the things that happened when COVID initially hit was that as a teacher, obviously, like, I had to adapt to working remotely, but I was grateful and thankful and blessed to have worked or to work with so many people that once we collaborated, we really adjusted to, you know, the new environment or the new way of teaching, obviously remotely. We adapted to that real quick. Personally, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like we knocked it out the park, especially considering that, like, you know, hey, finish out the year, finish teaching the content that you expected to teach, even though there's not going to be a test at the end of the year. Like, finish teaching out your content was kind of how my quarantine started. It was kind of nice to work from home, but I realized that, like, I ended up working a lot harder and I worked more than if I was working in the building. I don't know why that is, but it's just how quarantine hit. I'm off for 2 months during the summer, which, you know, and I'm a homebody. So like the fact that, like, hey, we couldn't go anywhere did not really bother me that much. What it really did impact was usually take my kids to the gym in order to give my wife a break. So like the gyms closed down, and so that was a no-go. But then the gyms opened back up, but they didn't have childcare. And that was like a big push of why I went to the gym. So like I haven't been to the gym in like almost a year. Because obviously, like, they shut down and they still do not have childcare available, which kind of sucks. So I'm getting kind of doughy, but it was a pretty dope summer. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm cool for quarantine, you know, to like be home, don't leave. Like that worked for me. My wife, who also runs a business, like, we had to switch off and kind of come up with a way in order for us to both have time, because I was excited because now I have more time. I used to not have a whole lot of time to be able to work on my music, but being that I was home, and I was also fortunate enough to like not have my pay cut, because we were kind of at the cusp of, like, you know, going into summer, and, you know, hey, that's 2 months paid, because we were able to kind of like get over that hill, and it was like we didn't really have much to worry about. We played a lot with our kids, and I gave my wife as much time as I could to let her work on her business, because obviously she's at home taking care of the kids and not having that time to be able to do that. But I obviously ended up getting a lot more time, especially during the day, which is great, because I love, as much as I love making music and working on music, it really, towards like doing it at night, especially me, because I tried to make it a point to only work on music after the kids are asleep, like to not work on music when the kids are awake. Like, my time is for them. And I stick to that pretty good. I did get to end up working a lot during the day, which allowed me to like go to sleep at a reasonable time. So that was really awesome as well. And I did have one of my most profitable months. That was also really cool. I think I netted about $300 in June, which just broke the most that I've ever made in a single month. And that, again, it might not seem like a lot to a lot of people, but like it was a goal for me, or it was a new record for me. So I was excited about it. The only thing is, about $300 in sales, I only pocketed less than 200, because a lot of it was collabs. I was collabing with a ton of people from all over, some people local, some people across the state, some people across the globe. And because of those when I collab with somebody, I cut everybody in 50-50. So if I'm working with 4 people and one person did a hi-hat, that person is still getting 25%. That's just because I value what they do. And I would not reach out to them if, I didn't know they have an equal stake in what we created together. So that was really great. But then it went into like a slower month, where I ended up getting like 1 sale a week. And like those sales were at least $30. I did go viral on TikTok. I did like some video about like, the PayPal notification when somebody hits you up and is like, yo, man, I'm going to buy you a beat on Friday. And then like you get the PayPal notification and it's like, yo. So I did a little that over on TikTok and it ended up going viral. I think it's got 1 million views right now. And that ended up probably bringing me about like $200 in sales just from like people asking like, yo, man, like, let me hear some of your beats, or let me hear the beat that, not kind of realizing that like it's TikTok. It's like it's staged and it's fake. But still, but then after that, it kind of hit a lull and I ended up making like 1 sale a week, to the point where I got super discouraged around October, because in October, that cycle of like at least making 1 sale every week. I think I ended up going almost the whole month of October without making a sale. And again, it's not really always about sales, but more so like about, are you building? And because I feel like I was building, especially with the fact that I had, at that point, I had also purchased an email service, a subscription to like a membership to an email platform, and increasing my monthly expenses to a little over $50. And so when I wasn't making enough, when I wasn't doing that 1 sale a week, obviously I was gonna end up in the hole a little bit. Really end up keeping about enough to hold me over for about a month or 2 in my business account. But sometimes I'm buying plugins, or I'm buying for ads, or sometimes I'm reaching out to somebody to say like, hey man, like how much for you to rap on a beat of mine, or I do a whole bunch of different stuff with like the money that I get from my business. But that kind of made me scared, but I eventually ended up making a sale, $100. Actually, I made a couple of sales. Because I made a couple of sales, I ended up getting Omnisphere. So I finally bought Omnisphere. Used to have a cracked version of Omnisphere, felt super bad about it, deleted it, got it. I think it took me like 3 months in order to save up to have it. And that was so good. Finally install it. And like, oddly enough, at the time, when I got Omnisphere, I was doing a whole bunch of collabs. So like I had this huge folder full of a bunch of melodies that some people had sent me. And so like I never touched Omnisphere. Now currently I'm kind of in a mood or in a zone of doing a lot of sampling. So still not touching Omnisphere that much. But then kind of around October, the whole COVID thing really hit home, because I contracted it. At first it was my grandfather, and then my grandmother had contracted it, and they were both in the hospital, and it was really looking like it was taking a turn for the worse. So I think they ended up being in the hospital for a little, and it sucked because I live in Virginia, but my family lives in Florida, and not being able to go home, not just to be with them, hopefully to be able to see them one last time, but also to like not be able to go to the funeral. A big part of that was like, for one, it was like my family, and 2, it was my job. So like my family, mainly because like I didn't want to run the risk of going over there, 1, leaving them here alone, my wife alone to like take care of everything for God knows how long I was going to be gone, but for me to be gone and then bring something back, you know what I mean? But we had kind of talked about it, like, she said, if you do end up going, don't come back until you've gotten a negative test. And that would have probably taken like 2 weeks. And so, that could have been like 3 weeks. It could have been a month that I could not have been there to be with my family. So I didn't want to run that risk. And then also with my, like, well, if you do go, make sure like you're going to have to quarantine when you come back. And so you won't be able to come back into the building, which is kind of okay with me. But understanding like how much harder it was to work from home, I was like, I just decided not to go. And I was kind of, I feel okay in the sense that, like, you know, I did talk to them about a week before the whole thing went down, and I was told that, like, you know, that my grandfather had passed away first, and then my grandmother had passed away. But by the time my grandmother had passed away, she had not known that my grandfather had passed away. So they were kind of like they spent less than a day. So that was pretty poetic. So then I finished out the year, a couple more sales and all that stuff, but like that's not the important part. One of the things that I kind of look back on is like the goals that I had set out for myself. One of the things that I wanted a chance to do, not to say that I didn't get a chance to do it, I just didn't focus on it, was to put out more beat tape. So I put out one beat tape at the beginning of the year, and I wanted to put out a couple more. Kind of never happened. A lot of that stuff fell by the wayside because I was focusing a lot on my website and then also networking. So that's one of the things that I really started to take a lot of focus on towards the end of the year, was devoting time to learning more about networking, learning more about marketing, and connecting with artists, like having days of the week where I'm doing that stuff. And even though I've only really been doing it for about 2 months, I've already seen the growth and a lot of the impact that it can have. I will say this, I haven't made a sale as a result of it. Things like my email list is getting bigger, my rate of free downloads is getting bigger, my plays on BeatStars are getting bigger, I've gotten more followers, and obviously a lot of that stuff comes with, like, you know, well, more likes and more engagement and whatnot, and that's also probably attributes to, you know, ended up with 1,000 subs here on YouTube. So that's also pretty cool. But I'm definitely going to focus this year more on marketing and branding, more on, I did commit to myself this year that I want to put out a project every quarter with another artist. So like, even if it's just a single, like, you know, linking up with somebody like, yo man, go pick a beat from my store, bam, let's like knock something out, shoot a video and all that stuff, and say and promote all that stuff myself. So we'll see what the future holds, but I'm definitely excited to see what's going to happen. Oh, the other thing, I don't even want to turn it around, but I'll show you here. Bam, I got myself a PC. I stopped in Mac ecosystem. I was done with it. Finally got a PC, and I'm so excited because it's, as you can tell, it's fast, right? And it's good, but I can also game on it too, which, like, my wife doesn't know that that's the reason I really bought it. So I'm loving it right now, and it's just so much more stable. And obviously, like, I wanted to go PC because, like, the parts are cheaper, they last longer, the support is so much better, you can customize it. So thank you guys so much for rocking with me. 2021, let's see, hopefully a lot cooler things in store. Definitely excited for some things that I have planned, one of those being another beat tape, a MIDI kit, and now some courses that I've already planned to put out, more videos here on YouTube, but like more, not so much tutorial based stuff, but like more kind of informational things and tips and hacks and tricks and stuff like that. But so much. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you're enjoying my content. If you are, let me know. If not, still got love for you. Just, you know, show love either way, you know, if you can. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that stuff. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.